had Kryptops, the masked predator of the Cretaceous. If you could travel back in time more than 110 million years ago to the lands of ancient Africa, where today's Sahara Desert burns endlessly under the sun, you would find a completely different world. Instead of sand and desolation, it was once a green paradise filled with winding rivers, swampy lowlands crawling with giant crocodiles, and sparse forests stretching as far as the eye could see. In this forgotten landscape lived a mysterious creature that left a peculiar mark on evolution. Kryptops paleos, the predator with the hidden face. Number 1. Name and age. The ancient mask. The name Kryptops comes from Greek, meaning hidden face. Its fossils were discovered in Niger in 2008, preserved in sediments that once formed the bed of an ancient river. Kryptops lived during the Aptian-Albian stages of the Early Cretaceous, around 112 to 100 million years ago. At that time, Africa was still part of the southern supercontinent Gondwana, and evolutionary drama was unfolding at a breathtaking pace. Most importantly, Kryptops is regarded as one of the earliest known abelisaurids, the lineage that would later give rise to famous predators like Carnotaurus. Its discovery proved that these fearsome theropods originated far earlier than previously believed. 2. Size and appearance. The predator behind the mask. Kryptops was not among the giants of its age. It measured about 7 meters long and weighed around 1 to 1.5 tons. Roughly the size of a modern white rhinoceros. Yet what it lacked in size, it made up for in sheer strangeness. The most striking feature was its skull. The facial bones were thick, rough, and oddly smooth in places, suggesting they were covered with a layer of hardened keratin, forming a natural bony mask. Unlike sleek hunters that relied solely on sharp teeth, Kryptops may have used this armored face in combat, ramming or rubbing against rivals during battles for territory or mates. Its deep-set eyes, serrated blade-like teeth, and powerful jaws gave it a grim, menacing look. Imagine a warrior from prehistory wearing a grotesque mask of bones stalking the riverbanks of a lush Sahara. That was Kryptops. Number 3. Habitat. The green Sahara of prehistory. It is hard to picture the Sahara as anything other than a lifeless desert, but during the early Cretaceous, it was a teeming ecosystem. Forests lined the rivers, herds of herbivorous dinosaurs browsed on vegetation, and massive fish swam beneath the surface of the waterways. Kryptops lived among a dazzling cast of neighbors. Suchomimus, a crocodile-snouted giant, twice Kryptops' size, adapted for fishing. Ouranosaurus, a plant eater with a sail-like back. Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, apex predators that would later rise to dominate the region. In this crowded stage, Kryptops was a mid-tier predator, not the largest, but dangerous in its own right. Number 4. Behavior and hunting. The hyena of the Cretaceous paleontologists believed Kryptops was an opportunist, both hunter and scavenger. When hunting, it likely targeted medium-sized herbivores, striking with its crushing bite and slicing flesh with its serrated teeth. But when faced with the corpses of larger animals, Kryptops would not hesitate to scavenge. Its reinforced skull and strong jaws allowed it to tear flesh from carcasses left behind by bigger predators. In this sense, Kryptops played the role of the Cretaceous hyena, not always the first to kill, but always ready to feed. The bony mask may also have served a social function. Males might have clashed head-to-head like modern buffalo, using their armored faces as both weapons and displays of dominance. 5. Fascinating facts and mysteries. A window into abelisaurs. Ancestral abelisaur. Kryptops is among the earliest abelisaurids ever found, showing that this group did not simply flourish in South America, but had deep African roots. The evolution of the mask. Its smooth, thickened skull hints at unique adaptations for display or combat, an unusual path in theropod evolution. Extinction and replacement. Kryptops eventually vanished, replaced by larger, more specialized predators, such as Carcharodontosaurus and Spinosaurus as ecosystems shifted. Number 6. A cinematic vision. Kryptops on screen. Picture a cinematic moment. The sun sets over the prehistoric Sahara. A Kryptops emerges from the brush, its bony mask gleaming under the blood-red sky. In the distance, the carcass of an Tyrannosaurus lies half submerged in mud, drawing clouds of primitive birds. Kryptops approaches, silent and grim. The birds scatter as it lowers its masked face to feed, tearing through decaying flesh with ease. It is not the ruler of this land, but a survivor, living by wit and opportunism. This haunting image captures the essence of Kryptops, not the largest, but unforgettable. Hashtag 7. Kryptops in the bigger picture of evolution. Kryptops reminds us that survival is not always about size or brute power. Instead, adaptability is key. By straddling the line between hunter and scavenger, Kryptops secured its place in a world dominated by giants. Though it never wore the crown of apex predator, it was an essential piece in the balance of life, recycling energy through scavenging and shaping the ecosystem in its own way. It was a stepping stone in the long story of abelisaurids, paving the way for more bizarre descendants like Carnotaurus. Kryptops, the predator with the hidden face, was a creature both eerie and fascinating. It did not need to be the largest or fiercest to matter. Its strangeness, its flexibility, and its role as both hunter and scavenger were enough to carve its name into the Book of Evolution. Today, as we study its fossilized remains, we hear the echo of its masked footsteps across the prehistoric Sahara. A reminder that in nature, the strongest are not always the biggest, but those most able to adapt.